Thanks for waiting. Welcome to the show, Stephen. You're on with Shannon and Matt.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. First call of the day. Shit, you guys are in for it.
All right, bring it on.
No. I think I'll be pleasant. I hope I'll be pleasant. But yeah,
It's all good.
Matt, thank you. Thank you both. I've been watching a ton of your show during quarantine. It's been a major distraction for me, and I appreciate that. And I love both of your approach to these conversations. So yeah, actually, I have to say, like, I've been feeling that dissonance a lot over the course of the last year. Like, it's been a total paradigm shift for me and my understanding of what humanity in the United States is about. And like, with the election, tripping and thinking, like, God, what if I'm wrong? What if what if the Democrats are stealing all this shit? And yeah, I know it's like absolutely bonkers, and I don't actually believe that, but yeah, I think it's a good thing to be able to take an inventory of your beliefs that way, right?
I like taking an inventory of beliefs like that on occasion, as long as it's not something that's actually going to cause, dread or get you mired in such doubt that you can't, get back to living normally.
Yeah. Sure. But yeah, so in terms of my question, basically, I've been an atheist as long as I can remember. I think, aside with like some slight brushes with spirituality when I was younger, none of the supernatural has ever made much sense to me. Right. But as such, I found myself like kind of envious of some qualities of religion, like the built-in community that you get with it. Something I call God confidence, like walking through life with this belief that God has your back, and like the symbolism, seeing the symbolism out in the world, and sort of having that moment to check in with the divine, and just like feel better. Like, I imagine Christians feel good when they see a cross because it reminds them of their God, and stuff like that. So I'm wondering if there's anything you guys miss about your religious experience that you have replaced with something else or haven't been able to replace. Yeah.
I like the phrase God confidence, by the way, although I'd prefer to use cocksure, because then you get people going, what did you say? But yeah, I mean, while we're building atheist communities, I'm here with the atheist community of Austin. And while things are a little different during the Backstreet Boys reunion tour, the fact of the matter is I've got a community, and we need to work to build it. Are there things about being religious that, I don't know, what's your take on this, Shannon? I don't miss all that much.
I really don't miss anything about being religious. One of the things that I understand is that I actually gave up a bit of privilege when I deconverted, because I was no longer insulated by the larger community and wasn't a part of the majority anymore. But I don't think that I miss that. I actually relish the fact that I don't have that anymore, because it was a step on the way to gaining me some perspective regarding, social hierarchies and the way that power dynamics work in society. And so I suppose most people would say probably a sense of community would probably be the thing that they profess to missing the most, because religion has done a very, very good job of having built-in community structures, like all the way down to the buildings that are in each and every town, right? So you have that sort of pre-made community. If you are an adherent to a specific religion, you can just walk in and say, hey, I'm one of you guys, and kind of be accepted just automatically, just by virtue of the things that you believe in. It's not quite the same with atheism, but as more people are deconverting, and like Matt said, we are building communities, and I don't miss it really, because I was just a part of the community because of a belief that I held that was similar to the people there, and not because we were like strongly questioning what we believed and building something together, which is more so what I feel now. I feel as though the communities that I'm part of are part of building something. They're not just default communities, if that makes sense, if I articulate it that way.
I think if there's anything I miss the most, it's my relationship with some members of my family and some friends that I used to have. My relationship with my parents has fundamentally changed, and it'll never be normal again. There's like a new normal. But it was nice to not have to have arguments about this stuff. It was nice to not think that my mere existence and disagreement was causing my parents suffering, because they're going to mourn the fact that they think I'm working for Satan and destined for hell and taking as many of you with me as possible. They're going to mourn that until the day they die. It's unavoidable. And watching the harm that it does to them and the harm that it does to the relationship, the fact that the religion is so pernicious that you can't have that kind of relationship with some individuals who are religious, because if you don't agree, because their religion prohibits it.
Right. Yeah. So I don't really think that that's something that is that's a bug, not a feature of religion, though, because you're essentially saying people that you really care about, the relationship is strained because of the tenets of the structure of adherence that must be adhered to in order to belong to that group, and that's causing the strain on the relationship more so than what you believe. What you believe isn't causing the strain; it's the fact that it contradicts something that they have been told. Like they imbue you with characteristics as a result of what they're taught, which that seems detrimental. That's not something that I would miss. That's something that is a result of the way that structure is built, causing that negative outcome. So if those structures didn't exist, that negative outcome wouldn't happen. So I wouldn't miss it. I would have meant that it existed to begin with.
And that's really relevant to me because, like, honestly, like growing up in like Libcuck, Oregon, like I did not have a clear concept of just how.
Did you say Libcuck, Oregon?
You did.
I was memeing because, like, I'm a total like bleeding heart, sensitive like Portland art boy. So
I just wanted to make sure I understood you, and that I didn't like mishear the pronunciation of a real place in Oregon.
Right. Oh no, that's just I assume how we're viewed in a lot of different places, but yeah, I didn't realize
on 4chan.
Well, no, I mean, like Reddit's a nightmare, right? But yeah, like I guess I didn't really conceptualize just how many people stand to lose so much by walking away from religion, and that's like kind of the other side of the other. The point of my question is really geared at, like, so often when I hear theists calling in that are questioning, they sound so afraid, and because it sounds like they feel like they're losing so much, and so for me as a secular person, I found like my connection to whatever I would call divine is found in like really appreciating like the beauty of the reality of evolution, like what that means. There's this Dawkins talk about the queerness of the universe and like how cool it is that a flower looks the way it does because it's had these traits developed over generations that help it survive, and the diversity that arises out of that. Like the universe is so damn cool, and like humans are so cool. We're such like weird little creatures, and like having something to remind you to check in with that, I ended up just like sort of adopting crows or like corvids as a god sign for myself, because it's a little reminder to check in with those. Like really, I love crows and corvids. I think they're amazing creatures, and it's a little reminder to check in with those things that like I find to be really meaningful about life. And so I wonder if finding a way to share those strategies for replacing what people feel like they're losing, even though they're not actually losing anything, but like actually giving them, a clear vision of what they gain from a secular worldview, wouldn't it be really useful?
Quick side question: Does Corvidae include grackles?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, because grackles are fucking awful.
Yeah, well, so like I had a friend from Austin actually who talked about the grackles and what a nightmare they are. But the thing is that they're like, I mean, I'm sure you know all about it. I could give you a deluge of anecdotes about what's so cool about like crows and ravens and corvidae in general, how clever they are, and like the characteristics that I think make them really like remarkable creatures.
Ooh, but, I don't think grackles actually are. I went and looked it up. Grackles aren't So we can love crows and hate grackles.
Not that we got that cleared up. Thank goodness.
You park your car under a tree in Texas at the right time of year, and it will be painted white poop from the 5,000 grackles that live in this 10-foot tall tree. It's not. There's no leaves on the tree. It's just grackles.
This is grackles.
They're awful.
Yeah.
Well, I learned a thing today. Don't park.
All right.
Thanks for Texas.
Thanks for the call, Stephen. I'm going to move on to some other stuff.
David.
Hopefully that answered your question.
Have a good weekend.
Thanks for talking. Yeah, take care, guys.
He was very zen. That was very nice. Is everything going to change now? You're at the helm, so.
I'm about as zen as you can get. I love calls like that because people need to be reminded. Yes, we're going to argue about God. We're going to take other stuff, but we're also building communities, and it's also a non-trivial thing, especially in the West, especially in like the United States in particular, that people who fall away from religions suffer a lot, and in interpersonal relationships, and their status in the community and all this stuff. Not that I should be elected to any public office, but I'm essentially unelectable because of things I've said on the show, and I have no interest in running for anything. But there are other people who do, and I would like to see them not be quite so marginalized.
That's why it's important that we do the things we do.